What's going on, everyone? In this video, just wrapping up the weekend here, and I wanted to provide sort of a behind-the-scenes look shortly before we actually launch live the Identify reimbursements and inventory tracking modules. And so I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes. All of the reimbursements and inventory tracking is currently on our staging server exclusively, so no users currently have access to this, but it's been a highly anticipated module, or set of modules, I should say, that we're going to launch. And so I'm super excited to share them with you. I know that they will provide a ton of value for anyone that uses them because I've seen how much they could actually impact my business, and I will highlight some very, very specific examples for you in this video. So I'm not gonna put a bunch of fluff at the beginning here. Let's just dive right in. So if we check this out right here, this is what the inventory tracker looks like. And so you get somewhat of a tool like this within the Manage All Inventory section of Amazon Seller Central, but it doesn't go in depth. It doesn't actually provide super helpful insights that can transform your business in a significant way. So we'll just go with this top product and we'll walk through each column and how they are important. So we have sent, inbound, and received. In the Manage All Inventory section of Amazon Seller Central, you have these as well. We're basically pulling those numbers for you. And the goal of all of this is to balance, this is the balance sheet for your inventory. So you will understand if you're missing units for some reason, or if you have too many units and just what has happened to your units since they have, or while they're in transit to Amazon, and then after they have arrived at Amazon's fulfillment centers. So this top product again, 500 sent, 2 units inbound, 497 units received. Also, you have 2 units reimbursed. So what's happening here? You have basically inbound, received, and reimbursed, summing to 501 units, 2 plus 497 plus 2. And we only sent 500, so my shipment plans, what I told Amazon I was going to send them over the course of the time period that we track, was 500 units. But they've received 501. That's why you see this green delta right here. Green is good. Green is good on this column for now. We're making changes. This is not the final, so I just want to highlight there are some issues that we have, some bugs that we're fixing. That's why it's not live yet. So within the next couple of days, we'll fix all of these, but I will highlight them as we go. Delta of 1. This means that Amazon located or reimbursed us for 1 additional unit more than we sent them. 1 unit. Good thing. 1 unit negative. We have 600 units sent, 600 units received apparently, and we have -1 in inbound. So what does that mean? Basically what this means is that Amazon is missing 1 unit from one of the shipments that we sent them. And so what does this look like? If you click on this, I've already done this to make it easy on me to just bounce back and forth between tabs, but if you click on this, the delta is the current number of units that are eligible for reimbursement that can be claimed by submitting a shipment discrepancy case. Click on any of the numbers in the column below for more SKU-specific information. You click on this number, it takes you right here. This is not the right screen. Perfect. Maybe this is the right one. Yes, this is the right screen. So it takes you here. It will automatically choose FBA shipment discrepancies. It will automatically plug in the FN SKU from your catalog. And then all you have to do is you can select this bubble, and we show you exactly how to submit a case to claim the money that you are owed for Amazon losing this item. Pretty awesome, right? When we got this working, this has taken so many hours. I've spent so many hours with our dev team just digging into how to make this work. But imagine if all of the FN SKUs, I should say, all of the instances in which Amazon has lost your units that you ship to them are just flagged right here. It's not a manual process anymore. You don't have to dig through the Manage All Shipments section of Amazon Seller Central. You don't have to go shipment by shipment by shipment. You don't have to rely on a third party that's going to charge you 10, 20, 30% of the money that they recover for you. You have an automated system that does it for you right here. I think it's pretty great. We cannot take this information and automatically submit this for you because you do have to go through the upload document, the document upload process. And we also don't want to see your supplier information. You know, if you have a product in your inventory, full disclosure, I sell myself. I have, a catalog that's relatively built out already. I'm not necessarily trying to source new products from my catalog. The business is kind of on autopilot at this point as I focus on some other things, but all your supplier information stays with you. We're not going to ask you for it. You submit this yourself. You see exactly how to submit it here. You click on this, it takes you into Seller Central, and you just follow the steps. Super cookie cutter, very easy. Going back to the entire section. We can move on to the second section. I guess let's go to this tab real quick. We have this section, and we have a -1 delta here. This is a bug that I'm going to point out to you. These numbers are correct. We have this number that's correct, but then if we pop over to this section, the actual reimbursement claim section, we see multiple instances. We have 4 units, 2 units, 1 unit, 5 units. Why did we only see 1 unit over on the other section? It's a bug. We're working on fixing it. Basically, we have already been reimbursed for these 4 units, for these 2 units, and for these 5 units, and we are just working on a way to have that track within our system. For the time being, we may end up pushing this and having you be able to select and then manually mark as no longer needs attention, or manually mark as done and it will no longer appear, so that you can get those cases in which we're falsely flagging certain shipments off your screen and you don't have to deal with them. Then if we pop over here, we can look at the second section. So the left section, sent, inbound, received, reimbursed, and delta, these have to do with what happens to the product before it arrives at Amazon's fulfillment centers, when it's still inbound. The second section is after it arrives at Amazon. And so we have available, unfulfillable, reserved. Those are probably pretty familiar to you. Then we have units sold, returns, unclaimable. And so just to give you an idea of unclaimable, these units are no longer eligible for reimbursement from Amazon. You must submit your claim no later than 60 days after the date the item was reported as lost, damaged, or destroyed. Claims that are submitted outside of this window are not eligible for reimbursement. Luckily for this product, I have 0 that are unclaimable. I have 2 that are already reimbursed, and I have 6 that have been removed. If I click on this number, the reimbursed number, or the removal order number, that will actually take me into Amazon Seller Central, and I can see the screen within Amazon Seller Central. I can see the report that shows me when and where they were reimbursed, how much money I got, all that kind of stuff. See when the removal orders were sent, and confirm that they were actually sent. Units sold and returns, you can do the same thing. You click on these numbers respectively. They take you into Seller Central. You can view those reports for yourself. The important part on this screen is this claimable number. And so again, if I click on this, let's take a look. It takes us over here. We dive into the misplaced and lost inventory section, and then we see that there are 2 adjustments available for this product. What happens if I click on that product? And again, the sidebar is another thing that we're fixing, so eventually this will pop over so you can see the screen. The formatting is off currently. It will not be once you see this live. It shows you exactly what to do. For the time being, we are not able to automatically submit your cases. Again, that is something we're working on. So for the time being, odds are we're going to have you just copy this, and there will be a video or some sort of explanation that I film that I show you exactly the link to go to and where to put this message in and exactly how to do it. It's very straightforward, but if you've never done it before, you probably don't know where to find it. Once you know how to do it, it's very easy. So we flag the exact reimbursements that you need to submit, you copy, you paste, you get your money back. Going back to why this is valuable. First off, it took me, before I knew the extent of the Amazon reimbursements process, I was a 1.5 years into my selling journey. The first time that I went through a larger reimbursements push, just for these 3, misplaced and lost inventory, destroyed inventory, and damaged inventory, I made back over $10,000 in reimbursements. The first time, just one push, it took me about 2 weeks to submit all these cases, figure out where they all were. Made back over $10,000. I know that people are losing hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. There are probably some larger sellers losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year due to reimbursements. It's sickening. I hate it, and I want to fix it. And this is what we've built to fix it. Going back to the initial screen, again, we will show you what is unclaimable. And so what's unclaimable? If you don't submit your case for items that are lost, damaged, or destroyed in Amazon's warehouse, then you can no longer get the money back. You're outside of the eligibility window. And so let's just take a look here. I have 5 units unclaimable here. My cost on this product is $20. That's $100 gone forever. Just gone. I cannot get that money back anymore. 4 units here, $85 cost. How much money is that? That's $340. Gone. Can't get it back. Go down here, 57 units, unclaimable. Can't get them back. $8.3 cost. That's over $400. It's $450 to be specific. Scroll down just a bit. 74 units unclaimable, gone forever. $15 cost. What is that? Over $1,000 on this one product. And the sickening thing is the way we structure this report is we only pull your data for 10 months. The reason we do that is that for the shipment discrepancy cases, it doesn't make sense. Basically, there are API limitations. We cannot pull your data going back that far in a API efficient manner. And so we don't need to. The reason we don't need to is the eligibility window for shipment discrepancy cases is 9 months. We are essentially, and there's also no way to easily filter by shipment delivery date. And so we go by 10 months. We just do 10 months because we assume every shipment by the shipment creation date. So it gets funky. Again, this is why it took so long. We had to do so much research on how we should structure these things. We pull all your information for 10 months because we assume that from the shipment creation date, you will have at least 1 month before delivering the product. In some cases, we're going to falsely flag some, but you will just not be able to submit a case for those. And we'd rather shoot a little over and get some false positives as opposed to missing some and you missing out on money that you otherwise could have recovered. And so the reason I mention that, this is only 10 months of data. The unclaimable units are only from the past 10 months as well. And so odds are going back further, these numbers would be higher. These unclaimable numbers would be higher. Maybe instead of just $100 on this product, I lost $250. Maybe instead of just $340 on this product, I lost $1,000. And so if I had a tool like this, when I was selling, the large volumes that I was selling, I wouldn't have run into these issues. I wouldn't have lost this money. And this is pure bottom line dollars that I am losing. If you lose money, it's effectively a 1-to-1, loss ratio from your profit, from your bottom line. You attribute it to leakage. If you eliminate that leakage, it's just pure profit that goes to the bottom line. So in just these cases that we outlined on my screen currently, I would have made myself in profit over $2,000 just in the past 10 months on the top 4 products that we outlined here, which is just ridiculous. And so I guess I'm going to leave it there. But again, we're working on just a few kinks that we're going to iron out. This should all be available within the next few days. And as soon as it is available, the pricing is going to stay the same as the current Identify pricing for a limited amount of time. The current Identify pricing is $19.95 per month if you choose the monthly plan, $200 or $199.95 per year if you choose the annual plan. And so you get all of the sourcing modules that we have, and you get the inventory tracker and the reimbursements modules, all within that one subscription price. And then as soon as this is done and it's working, we're going to take suggestions on what we should build next, and we're going to build it into the existing subscription for a slightly higher price. Eventually, we're not going to stick with that $19.95 price, so it's going to be a limited time, but it's going to go up marginally. We're not going to price gouge this thing. I truly am sick. It makes me sick. It's disgusting to me. Amazon FBA can be such a lucrative and awesome business for so many people, and it's just so gross to see that this has happened to me. And I know that there's other people that, I thought that I was relatively up to date and in the weeds with what goes on in my Amazon business, and I miss these things. And so I am certain that other people are, and that's why we need to get this to market. That's why we've been working so hard to get it out. And I hope that you sign up. I hope you find tremendous value. And as soon as we're done with this, I would love your suggestions on what we should work on next. The reason we pushed so hard on this is because we got social media pressure saying, hey, this needs to be built. It was on our roadmap for a long time, and we got really pushed over the hump about a month ago. And so this is why this is in front of you right now. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. I very much appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you on the Identify platform very soon. Cheers.